up on the plastic. I just tagged to work for my young nigga. He gon' push the rock like magic. I don't do clubs, I be there after just to blind your bitch with this paddock. 40 ain't talking, they know how I'm rocking. Your wife on my dick, she get turned to a bopper. She lied to 2 shots, she done turned to a monster. This 30 on hip, I ain't come for no boxing. My white bitch had good pussy, had to drop her ass, she was toxic. Used to be broke and now I'm on island, smoking on flavors, I'm all in the tropic. I got your lady looking at throwaway Thursdays. Baby girl know I'm the topic. I need the toppings, I tell her please make it sloppy. Lil' mama say that she copy. Niggas want beef, okay cool, no problem. You keep saying I'm lying. Sent one text, sent that blue dot through, and I swear to God, nigga, I'm sliding. Pussy, fuck boy said, hold up, I got a decock. You dying, rookie. Bitch of your dreams, yeah, I'm not impressed, no pimp, but I hit all kinds of cook. Got a light skin, shorty head good, and I love her demeanor. Shit, I don't blame her. Sure, they just here for some money and loving the dick that I feed her. If I point like E.T. Pack gon' unleash, brody, I roll with some demons. If I hit her, you know I don't sweat her, my nigga. You want it, you know you can keep it. Yeah. Turn the slides up, no man. That small deal, you can keep that, cause I run mines. Bo Jackson used to be Cat Denim, came a long way, now it's Rick Owens.
1, 2, mic check. Welcome back to another episode of King Status Podcast.
King Status.
Here at the Prolific Design Studios, I'm your host, Mr. Mortar King, along with
EdBuck LC, a.k.a. Do-Rag Bucky today, a.k.a. Playboy Bucky.
Jay Duce.
If
You had a
I
lot there. I was
do.
like, oh, all right.
say so.
I need more.
Deuce!
Hey, yo. What's going on, fellas?
What's happening? Thanks again for tuning in to the King Status Podcast. And remember to please like, comment, share, subscribe. I know I'm talking like this is a commercial, but I realize I read better when I do that. Like if you could put something in front of me, I was like, it could be terms and conditions. I was like, yeah, just read it. Yeah. But when I read that shit like commercial, I run through that thing. I realized I talk a little better, a little clearer, a little clear-minded when I'm talking like it's a commercial.
Hey, yo.
But we thank y'all for tuning back in to the King Status Podcast. How y'all fellas feeling?
Feeling good, man.
He tested me right now.
What's good? How you feeling?
I'm great, bro. I'm good. Just working, grinding, man. On to the grind. Back to just acquiring stuff for the studio. Got some new things coming soon. And yeah, some upgrades. Just keep going.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I heard this quote earlier. I love this quote. Rose said it. He said, impossible is only for the unwilling. I said, man, I was like, yo, I never heard that. And I see somebody else put it in a note too. I was like, yo, I literally just seen that. I was like, I said, yo, because he was posting a picture. He was doing a little quick video with his custom painted jet. I was like, man, I said that. I was like, that thing was fire. I gotta be on it one day. Promised Land, Rose.
Oh, you will.
And y'all know in Bel Air, the only thing I drink anyway, so they ain't no.
Hey, yo, black bottle boy.
Yeah. Well, I prefer the white bottle too, though.
Hey, yo.
Cut the check.
Niggas always say that. Be like, oh, I'm drinking Kool-Aid, cut the check. Like, bro, they don't know.
I need all of mine.
I'm like, bro, we don't need you. Fuck
out
of here.
That kind of remind me of like
how sexy I am.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm back, so I'm the sexiest. You know what I'm saying?
I got the haircut though. I'm back. I got the do-rag.
Absolutely.
I got the do-rag on. I'm do-rag Bucky. I'm about to play for a Bucky no more because I got the haircut.
Nah, but it just made me think like, hey, yo. Nah, but it just made me think about like, just like how I used to be saying to you, like when we used to be coming up, like, bruh, I feel like if I ain't try it, at least like no matter what's going on, it's like, bruh, it's only a failure if I didn't try it. Like, like I used to really be adamant about that. Like, bruh, we didn't try it though. Like, we didn't try it. I'm like, yo, but it's just, bruh, I didn't try it myself though. Like, I don't care what like anybody said how they felt, and these people, I'm like, bruh, I didn't try it. So like, it's just funny because like I can like see that like yesterday, like us always going like not going back and forth, but like me just always saying that to you, like, nah, bro, we ain't do it because like we better than them. Like we can do it. Like I don't know about them, but we can do that, John. Like,
but real quick, well, today's topic, so to speak, because we've been having this conversation a lot, and this is the perfect time to have it. People been seeing this, and we all appreciate the engagement. Mr. Duce say he don't take nothing personal anyway. When we was talking about all the parents and stuff, and everything.
Personal what?
But
I think I won that conversation. But yeah, but hey, who knows? I would say you guys decide, but I like my opinion better.
We want to say first and foremost, Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day
to you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, and I think this is more. I mean, this guy cracking up over here. No. I was just gonna say, I want maybe we should start it off with our own experiences as how we grew up. And I think, Ed, I want you to take it over because I think you would probably have the better questions as of now, not being a father yet.
Yeah.
So I think I would probably rather you just take over when it's like when we get to that half of like anything you want to ask us about, fatherhood and everything, like as you prepare for it. But I was just saying, but I want to just start with like our experiences coming up. So I want to really talk about the fatherhood aspect because it's such a big thing in our culture, because in our culture most of the time, in the time we grew up in, it was non-existent.
Yeah.
So, and I know we all have had our own different experiences. So I just wanted to get into that, like Jay, did you grow up like with your father?
No.
Like,
not even close, Bucko.
No. But see, look. But you saying not even close. But sometimes you say the only time he gave you game was when you got in trouble.
Yeah, but that's not that. Literally, I am.
So elaborate.
I am in custody of. So how do I word this properly? I am bound without. I don't fucking know. How do I word this without basically telling myself?
Hold on, what?
I was in trouble with the law.
I'm saying you didn't have to go that far. I was just saying,
but you said you broke. That's the only
right,
moment
go ahead,
I'm there in those points in my life, and that's when my mom make a phone call. He somehow is around and somehow appears. Other than that, it was a very young child when he was locked up for a lot of that. So, but once my sister was born, he wasn't around. So once I turned 5, I seen cuz sporadically.
Oh, okay. So it was definitely
never a consistent ever. Never had a weekend dad or no shit like that.
Yeah. Is this something y'all feel comfortable talking about?
Yeah.
I was about to say I'm cool. I was
making sure.
I was more talking about the other stuff. I'm like,
no, that's what I said. You didn't have to go in. I'm just going off of like certain things you said. So like to someone like me, it sounds like okay, he could have been there just for not the moments you really needed him.
No, he wasn't there for any real moment.
Okay. Like, see, in my case,
those specific moments.
See, look, like in my case, my biological father was not there at all for me. But I grew up with a stepfather. I grew up with a father in the house, which is like, and I know your situation is still similar to ours, but still different, like to both of us.
Yeah, we're so like for me. First off, shout out to my pops, because like we we came a long way. I just would say that, like I'll just leave it like always at that, like we just came a long way, because like like just as a man yourself, you kind of grow through, like you go through it, and then like you kind of grow through it, and then like you try not to let it affect you as much, but like it'll always affect you like more than you might realize, like, and that's really the toughest thing like about it. So for me personally, like it was like a weird thing, because he always was like, he's around, like, you feel me, but like not existent to me, like, so like what I mean by that is like him and my mom not together, but I'm real close to my dad's side of the family, but me and him never was like around, like, you know, like having that bonding type of thing, like, oh, I'm with dad, oh, we doing this, we kicking it, whatever. Like we, like I would go to his house, like I don't want, kind of like a weekend dad type of thing,
Yeah.
like I would go to his house on the weekends and stuff like that. So for me as a kid, like I'm just young, like I'm around my pop. So whenever I get to see him, it's just lit. Like I'm not, you feel me? I'm not at the age to where as though I can compute like, yo, he's not around for the 5 days because I got them too. Like you feel me? So
Yeah.
it's not really, you know. But as I got older, it was just like you start to realize like some of the stuff that was going on like as a kid, and you like, oh, hold on, and then certain things start to happen, and like I hate to like for it to sound like how it do, because like I
Y'all in a
actually
better place. Like,
yeah,
so
because I actually got to talk to him about it. Like I used to think like I would be so angry whenever I would finally say this to him. Like, man, I would probably be just raging out. But one day it was just like I just like he texted me something like he texted me something, and I just felt like, bro, like welcome to my life. Like you crying over one little thing. Like I can honestly say this one because it's not really that deep, but it was around Christmas time, and I honestly genuinely just forgot to text him like, yo, Merry Christmas, whatever. So he wound up hitting me about it like, yo, like it's cool, whatever. I felt like he was just being passive aggressive. Like, so for me, I was just thinking like, bro, like if you felt the way, you could have just said that. You ain't have to like try to make me feel bad, and then you know what I'm saying. So it started like that. Yo, I can't believe you, like, but then I kind of just calmed down. I just actually called him, and I was just like, yo, dad, like you a human like me, so I apologize. Like, I don't want to make you feel no type of way, but like you talking about a Merry Christmas, bro, like what about my life? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
it kind of like it made me so mad to the point like I actually grew balls to just say it to him like, yo, dad, I want you to know how you made me feel now. Like because of something this small, I need you to know how deep it actually is. Like, so
And real quick to that point, that's one of the things I say now. I said, could you imagine some of the stuff like we may have went through in life, and they say something like that, and at the time, if you would have thought to be like, wait, like if you're complaining, I don't know how to do something, and it's like, could you imagine saying back, you're the one that's supposed to teach me though?
yeah.
Like, so it sounded like one of them moments where you like, wait. Like
Yeah.
we ain't like it's not gonna be that now, like because we got to be realistic
Right.
like now with some things.
So
But
like it's just like honestly like I would never, and without his permission I would never get into some of the things like that
Yeah.
honestly happened, because like for me I'm
Gotta have that convo with him.
Nah, for sure.
Bring him on the pod and talk to him.
not for
It-
sure.
Let him give his
and sometimes when y'all
opinion, his
like
perspective.
yeah, and everybody being in a better place, so you don't want to look like, because anything on camera can look like you
Yeah.
being bashed, and it's not that. It's just like,
Yeah.
yo, when sometimes people got to understand when you're just telling your story.
Mhm.
That's one of the reasons why I be suggesting, like with my family, maybe y'all should really watch the pod because you can learn who I am.
Right.
Like-
Like real talk. So like but like I said, it's just like a few things that we just went through. It was just like kind of groundbreaking for me personally. Like, yo, you were supposed to be my pops, bro. Like, what the hell? We like, so we just had a long road. But as I grew up, I just tried to learn, like, because it was like a nice hold over me. Like, yo,
Yeah.
like that joint makes me angry, bro. And it's like I never was gonna give up the benefit of the doubt. Like, bro, I don't care what you went through. Like, it's me.
Mhm.
Like, I ain't asked to be here. Like, I ain't asked for none of this. You was supposed to just make it right for me. So,
Mhm.
like I said, just growing up, like I just, I started to get into my own things and you just kind of learn like, oh, all right, I can understand, like, if you feel like certain things happen, I can understand why you would think that, oh, this is okay, but like I would never say like I would never say like I hate him or anything like that. I
Yeah.
always tell people like, yo, I love my pops. I just wish he was a better father. That's it. Like, he's a good dude. Always had a job. Never drank. Never smoked. No nothing. Like, I look up to him in certain ways for sure. It's just like, yo, I just wish he was just a better pops to me.
Yeah.
But like,
Funny dude.
yeah, like my dad funny as hell. Like, you know what's going on.
Yeah,
So like,
but you spoke on. No, go ahead.
just one last thing. Like the thing that's so crazy for like that. one thing that made me like really start coming down off it is I want to say it was like '09. I got either '09 or like 2010. I had got a job where he worked at, and I was working like in the front of the store. He was working in the back of the store, whatever. And every day I would watch him come in and be me. Like I was watching me, like, and I'm like, yo, it's no way that I'm like this dude this much. Like he coming in, smile on his face, messing with the people. Like he just got this certain energy, like, and people gravitate to him. And I'm like, yo, this is the same way that I walk in buildings, or I get around people that I know bang them. Like I do the same type of stuff. I always mess with people. I always joke with this. Like it was the same thing every day. Like, and I was like, yo, how the hell can I be mad? Like that's me right there. Like split image. So like, and then we, started building like a better bond, like just working together, just seeing each other a lot more. So that was just like the start of it, kind of like for me personally. So after that, I started to kind of like, oh, all right, because if we both the same, you can understand why sometimes we would butt heads. Like he a Taurus too, and I'm a Leo, so it's like, bro, sometimes you can get stuck in your ways. I know I can get stuck in my ways, so it's like it can get crazy. So.
No, that's facts. That's facts, though. You spoke on understanding them. Like, yo, that's kind of like the point for me where I think, Eric, you got to come to as a man. Like, my dad wasn't in my life, but I kind of understand his story, see where his point and perspective is, see why these views and such are tainted. Now, I don't agree with the decisions he made.
Absolutely.
So that's why, like, our disconnect is not because of me not having disdain or hate for him. It's because I have a kid myself, and I just don't want certain influences in my kid's life. You're not going to be in and out of it.
Right.
So it's that type of respect I have for the life I'm building.
Right.
To not allow that. But again, no, you cool. Like, and like my baby shower kid that he said some inappropriate shit there. It just, he got his own views and opinions on the world and his own rationalizations for what he does. So it's ain't shit I can do about it because it's going to be who it is.
Because that's the same thing you do.
What?
You got your own views and opinions on the world.
Yeah, but I don't impose them on others. I don't. You ain't got to do what I do. This is just what I do.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
See, look, and that's the other thing about it is because when you find out how much you're just like this person, but you don't really have the relationship. See, look, I only ever heard stories, like more stories of what he was like and how we do things the same. Because it's the same as like Ed's situation. It's like when people, it's like when my lady met that side of the family, she was shocked like how we all were. And it's like and I always say, no, it's not. I don't have a relationship with that side of the family. It's just him.
Yeah.
I said, everybody around that, his parents, like my grandparents, all that. I said, I have relationships with all of them.
Yeah.
I was like, it's literally.
I'm about to say literally the
I
same.
was like, it's literally just him. Like, but in my case, like when y'all hear me say pops, I'm referring to who I was raised by. Where you going? All right. No. But I was saying, I was saying it's. I grew up like who I refer to as my pops is who when I say that I'm referring to who I was raised by. So, and it was a lot of things that we went through that I don't have to say. It was just like always rough. Like it was always, and then sometimes you really are. You want to have that connection, but you don't necessarily have it. Because I heard other people break it down too, and I was like, oh, well, I'm not wrong for feeling like that. It's just like it's just naturally you want a connection with who you're biologically related to, who you're really connected to, who you look like.
Right.
Like, because I was like me and you. I was like, you put both our biological fathers sitting here. It's like a. Bro, you can tell that's their kid.
That's their kid, for
especially the older we got. Like, the older we got, the more we started looking like him. And like him, he cut his hair, so he looks even more like the rest of us.
Damn, I'm about to say because I know like the time he had the dreads, right?
Yeah,
yeah. Damn,
but
so he probably you in the face for sure.
But nah, like the same way with how like I said, the rocky relationship between me and who I refer to as my stepfather, but I'm gonna just say my pops. Like we definitely are. We're in a much better place now. So it's like, and me and him, we. I didn't want to step into my new life with my family that I built and created without forgiveness and really learning, like, and really having that conversation.
Right.
Like, and something, and then I was able, just like how you said, I was able to hear the other side.
Right.
Which as a man now, I'm like, I can understand. I can understand. I even told him, I said, there's some things that now looking back at it that you might have put up with that I'm not. That I'm saying I wasn't willing to. So it's like, so that's why I said, so it had to be more of the getting the forgiveness. But as men, is I think we definitely should talk to our parents, period.
For
like
sure.
like really saying when we felt like this or how we felt or what we were dealing with.
And a big disclaimer too, like when us as kids speaking to the parents, I literally want the parents to understand, like, yo, this is not something for you to get mad at. This is not something for you to literally, we're not trying to make you feel no type of way. We're not trying to tell you how bad of a job you did, or we're literally just trying to express how we felt. Like, it's nothing more, nothing less, because like I hate to feel like I'm expressing myself and you mad at how I feel. I don't like that, bro, because it's like I'm not, like, you feel me? I'm talking from a 10-year-old's, you feel me, perspective. Like, I'm X years old now, bro. I'm okay with it at this point because we're able to have a relationship. So and
No, because
but you know,
things feel like an attack. Because I did have to explain, like when me and my mother had a talk about stuff. I immediately said, you know, I will never disrespect you. I will never intentionally disrespect you. That's not who I am, and I've never been that way. So I was like, so you don't have to worry about that. I just want you to finally hear what I have to say. It's not an attack. I am literally just telling you this is what I felt and how it could have been better. But I am not beating you down with it.
Exactly.
I'm not beating y'all down. Even like I said, with my pops, like when we talk, I didn't beat him down with it. I just said, like, yo, and why we're such in a better place now is because he apologized. He apologized, and then like I said, we were able to hear both sides. Like I was able to hear his side of the story, which of course, like Jay said, it's not like I definitely agree with your methods,
right?
But I understand better.
Right.
I understand better now, especially as a father myself and as a man. Period.
And
so,
my fault.
Now go ahead.
Now, and I was gonna say, and parents, be accept. What is it? What's the word? Accepted. Receptive for sure, but accept your faults. Like, just accept it. We're not, like you said, I'm not here to bash you about it, whatever, because I could go on. Like, don't get it wrong. Like, I could go on. I could
disprove my feelings.
Right, like,
what happened. It's for some people, they never got to get to relive the moments, and if you don't say nothing, they're gonna think however they mind made it seem. But you got to get that insight. That's why you can never say it's attack. If I'm telling you how I feel and you feel attacked, these are your actions.
I'm about to
say, did these things. I'm just telling you how it made me feel, where my mind was at. Your job right here is to give insight and understanding and care to, and be kind and just maybe be sympathetic for how you made your child feel. It ain't no, oh well, this is why it had to happen. All that kind of shit is just you trying to make light of a situation that you can't make light up to somebody. Like, you can't replace somebody's childhood with whatever you about to say.
And I'm talking to you. Like, I'm talking about what you did. Not what my mama did. No, I'm talking to you.
And it's like a thing too, where it's like sometimes in conversation people think that you like explaining yourself too, and it's like it's so much like misconception in a regular conversation, bro. So it's like me expressing myself to my dad and him saying, you feel me, how he felt. I'm not looking at it as like, bro, that's an excuse. You feel me? I'm looking at it as that's how you was thinking in those moments. I'm not mad at you for that. I mean, you feel me? I'm what's the word? Like I'm like discouraged that you went through that and made those decisions and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like I'm a little tight that you felt like that's what you had to do it to get through it. However, it's ways that I am now where it's like I like, I'll tell you like, bro, I didn't say it was cool. I'm not saying it's right or anything. That's just what I felt like I had to do for somebody to understand what I'm talking about to them. Like, you feel me? So in the same breath, like if he was to tell me like, yo, son, I did that because at the time XYZ was going on and I just felt like I was caving in, like my mind. I'm a I'm an 18-year-old kid. I just did it. Bro, you're 18 off rip. I'm looking at it like, bro, I'm not tripping. Like, you feel me? At this point in my life, like, bro,
Yeah,
as
'cause
an
that's a
18,
baby.
yeah, like you feel
I understand what 18 is.
you feel me? So it's like, bro, I was 18 once. I had a scare too. So it's like, I know, like, when I heard it, my head rung, like, literally, like, I swear, when I heard the news, I had a little scare when I was younger. Bro, like, I stood there, life was starting to get dark. Like, I had to find it, like, oh, damn, like, so me being, you feel me? This is 2000 XYZ. So it's like, bro, in 1991, like, yeah, like, you feel me, bro? I get it. So it's like, you don't gotta, like, at this age, like, you don't gotta feel like, you feel me, like how you may have felt, or the guilt that you might have felt, or whatever like that. However, it's like, just accept that, John. Like, you feel me, just let me know what you was thinking, because that'd be my biggest thing. Like, I ain't mad at it no more. Now it's just like, I just want to know, like, why though? Like, what made you do that? Like, what, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what made you feel like, yo, I gotta take a step back, like, I can't face this? Or, you feel me, after a while, certain people get in their bag and they just like, I done made it get here so long, I might as well just let it go further, because I already did you feel me? I already did the most, instead of just saying like, yo, I done did all of that. Let me stop it here before it just, the avalanche just continues and continues. So,
and then one of the other things, like I said, when I had this conversation with my pops, and like and then also like how you said, you can't imagine in '91, like how different the times were too. So it wasn't like they come, my pops are older, so they come up in the work, go to school, and like discipline, that like that's it. And he was ex-military, like so that's one of the reasons why I say I see why some of the ways I move with certain things, like even the way I put things away, same spot, everything, like and just know where everything is, like so. But it's like, but with me and him, because me and him had two conversations. The first time was when I was telling him I wanted to get married, and he's the first person I spoke to, because whatever our relationship was, I still wanted to have that moment, like to feel like I'm talking to him. I'm talking to my pop about this. This is the person you like grow up with, and since like when my biological father, that ain't happening. So it's like I was like, yo, I gotta just do the next best thing. But and the other conversations we had was I said the forgiveness came the day I got married. Like I said, when I went off and went by myself, I said, yo, because I did like a lot of praying. I was like, yo, I'm walking into my new life and I want to forgive everybody. Like, but it was just like with him in particular, was just more of I knew I had to talk. We had to have a conversation. And I think one of the better ones was when this when my daughter was like just born. And he came and he was holding her, and he said, I know I may have been the way I was, but I will do so much. I will do everything to be so much better for her. And I said, at this point, that's all that matters, because I'm not walking around like I don't hate you or nothing. I was like, I don't walk around like none of that. It was just like, and then like I said, being a man, I was like, bro, what I had taken in as many kids as he did, and just like, and then all that ain't yours, and you just, and they're all young, like so it's things like that I was like, as a man now, that I'm like, okay, I get that, so I'm not, so I have to understand that as well,
for sure,
with certain things, and it's definitely still a lot of methods like I definitely didn't agree with, but I see better why, like how much better it is growing up with that father figure, because I say, yo, we all leave with respect. We all have we always had some type of accountability. It's like, yo, if I mess up in school, I know I'm getting in trouble when I get home. It's certain things like that. But Now the transparent part about my biological father that only you witnessed, and a lot of people don't even know this story because I didn't say nothing because you saw what it did to me.
Right.
Was Jay? We just got done. We was on our way to hoop, right?
Yeah.
Because we was going somewhere where it was inside, so we were hooping like. Because I remember it being kind of like almost nighttime.
Yeah.
So we go to my grandparents' house, and like I told you, I got a relationship with them, and he's there. This is like we 16, so this is like my first real encounter with him. He's in my face, and at the moment, like it was just like when I see him, I'm thinking, oh, when I finally see him, it'll probably be like this. It'd be so blissful, and it was just more like just a handshake. What's up? And Jay, when I tell you that thing that crushed me, because at the time I'm like, now looking at it, I was just more like, yo, that's all he had to say to me. I said, after all these years, I said, and what I dreamed it would be like, oh, you hear about how he like this, like, and it's not even that I was really hearing the bad stuff, like because it's like my mom didn't badmouth him, like she only said things if we asked, and I didn't start asking until I was an adult, like so. But it was like in that moment, it was like that's all I could think about. And I remember we was such a good day. We was doing whatever before that.
Word.
And then when that happened, I was like, I
took
couldn't.
it out of him. Like took it out of him.
I was like, I said, bro, like that's really all you had to say to me after all these years. But then learning more and everything like that, and then now being an adult, I was like, man, what else could he have said? Like realistically, like he could have said stuff, but it's like realistically, like you don't know.
No,
you don't,
he could have said something, but he chose not to, and that's his decision. That's all that is. Like,
yeah, because even when I get asked, like, do you think why like you should try to have a relationship with him? One, it's not just me. It's plenty of the rest of us.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like it ain't just me. And some of the I know definitely one of my sisters like it's a no-go for her.
Absolutely.
It's a no-go for her. No, what actually like yeah, like two of my sisters, it's a no-go. No-go. Like because like one of my sisters, she literally like, and if I'm being transparent, she said to my aunt, because my aunt on that side is the one that's like she tries to brings together, and my sister said to her, "I'm almost 40. I am not about to."
Yo, word up.
And then
and why am I forcing this relationship?
yeah,
like,
especially, and then if I could be transparent again, my brother is still around him. So when I call him up and say, "Yo," she said, "Blah blah blah," he said, that don't sound like him, but I'm going to ask just because I'm about to be around him.
Mm-hmm.
He called me back later like, bruh, like you you already knew it was like, like, because it was more, it wasn't that. It's what he said when he said, why would I say that?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, because my brother be telling me, like, yo, he's still very much selfish. Can't, like, and that's not going to change. If all this stuff happened, and it's not going to change. So that's why I was like, that's why I wasn't sitting around like, oh, I'm getting my hopes up. What if he did say that? Like, me and my siblings, we were all like, we don't believe it.
Yeah.
But if he does,
and like,
go ahead.
I kind of like, as I started to get older, I was like finding myself getting into that bag too. Like, yo, I was like a little younger, but I was thinking, I'm like, bro, I'm almost 30. Like, it ain't really too much. Like, and granted, I know I'm being naive because like it's plenty things he could still teach me how not to be. And like I always say like one of the greatest things, even though like and I told him this too. I was like, you know, it sucks that everything is what it is, but I was like, yo, the best thing that you ever taught me was how not to be. And that's the greatest gift you ever gave me. And that's perfect for me. Like, because I don't never want my kids to ever go through some of the things that me and him went through. And that's a blessing for me, like, you feel me, and them, honestly, because it's like, bro, as I got older and I, like, you know, I was raised by a lot of women and whatever, and even when I got female friends and like they had kids and stuff, I started to really understand it, like being close with some of the people they was dating or whatever, like, or they had a kid by, and it was like, oh, I really get it. It's like, it's nobody that, not even them, like, they can't keep you away from the kids, like, and a lot of them don't even be trying to. It'd be your own personal perception of how you know, like, you feel me? You know what you did. So it's like you fighting your own demons type of thing. And like
and how you perceive your actions, like
for sure.
they perceive their actions as like, oh no, I was justified. No, this went on that way, even though they never really had the conversation, never sat down and went to therapy for some shit and figured some shit out in their life, man. But I mean, like you said, I'm appreciative of the lessons I got from just who I wanted to be as a dad. Why I'm the way I am is because of everything you were not to me. So I found the value in that, and I had a father figure. My grandpa was heavy in my life. That was my guy. So it was just he was different though. It's not like a dad. It's different having your grandfather.
Yeah.
So you learn different things, and I'm just able to soak up more because that's the only person I have. But then you gotta learn from outside things, the women in your life. I was raised by a lot of women too, and women sometimes feel to raise boys they gotta be more stern. So then you have an awkward look of your mom because they believe that this action has to be.
Absolutely. And I know like firsthand having like cousins that was raised by a tough ass aunt, like, and it's like they kind of got the same thing. It's like, yo, they forever gonna love their mom or whatever, but they just like sometimes they feel like, yo, it's a disconnect because she had to raise them a certain type of way, and she was young as hell herself. So it's like it's always a understanding that you have to try to come to, because like even for me, like my dad didn't have his dad, so I don't know how that affected him to make him feel like, yo, I can or cannot be the best to him because I don't know what it's like. And you cause he could have spiraled. For me, he could have one day he could have been being the greatest dad ever, and then looked at me and something might have just rung like, yo, what if I do what my dad did? Whatever. No, she's gonna be an amazing mother. Like, let me not mess it up for him. Let her take care of him so I don't mess. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you was thinking, but sometimes I have to give you the benefit of the doubt because I don't know. Like, you feel me?
And that's the reason why I always say I was about to say to that is that's one of the reasons why we need to know our parents' story as well. Because then that's why I said when me and my pops would talk about it and he was telling me some of his story, that's when I was like, oh, I can understand better because now I know some of the stuff you've been through. So like when you said your dad didn't have his dad, so he doesn't really know what to follow behind. Like,
Right.
and so that gives me a better understanding now because I said, like, because like, from the outside, even though I was around, so I know some of the stuff, but it like from the outside, it's like, yo, he was at the basketball games and things like that. So anybody from the outside would think, yo, he was there. Like, I seen him, he would be at the games, shouting on the floor, everything. Like, but it's one of those things. But so now I have a little better understanding just by you saying that of, yo, he didn't grow up with his father. So it's like he didn't have anybody to really mold from.
Right.
And that's why I tell people, yo, like, and how I was just saying to my brother, like, yo, we would know so much more if we just knew your story. Like, if we knew our parents' story. That's one of the reasons why I try to find a lot of this out. So when I tell my daughter, because one of the things with me, as far as speaking on like fatherhood, and I have my mother's last name, so it's like when I tell my daughter and any of my kids, is like, yo, you typically get your father's last name, but it's like, well, when a child's inquisitive, but when I say, but more is my mother's last name, they be like, well, why do you have your mother's last name? Oh, when I asked this, he didn't want to be bothered. Like, so it's like, so and that's why I was like, yo, so, and the crazier thing is, I don't know necessarily how my grandfather was, but I'm like, my grandfather was there and married and everything like that. That's why I said I had a good relationship with my grandparents. God rest their soul. Like,
That's funny though that you say that too, because like, shout out to my grandpa. He cool and all of that, but my grandpa a piece of shit. And like,
oh
no
damn,
cap.
like
I ain't no cap. Like and it
That happens.
it's like he's so who he is. We just respect it. Like, that's like we see, like we know him, like, you feel me? He like we'll see him out or whatever like that, but he funny style. Like, he don't, you feel me? Like, the days like if he want to be bothered, he gonna be bothered. Like, he ain't never gonna diss us. Like, oh, like he ain't, like, you feel me? We run up, yo, grandpa, what's good? Whatever. Like, he ain't never gonna try to play us. But you like sometimes like when he come, like he done came around a couple times and you hear him talk, bro, he really talk crazy. Like, man, I ain't raised y'all. I ain't going for that shit. It's like, oh shit, like.
Hey, yo,
But like
granddad ain't give a
because of
fuck.
how we are, like you feel
He
me,
said,
like it's just
"Fucking
funny to us.
kids."
It's like, yo, that's really grandpa.
Yeah,
Bro. Like
like,
he really like
he
you
ain't
feel me, like
like,
we
can't do
yeah,
shit
and
with
that's
it.
and that's exactly what I'm saying. It's
He
like,
is who
bro,
he is.
we respect it because he know he a piece of shit. He don't try to play about it. He don't try to like lie about it. I
And
ain't
you know,
doing
we
that.
always
Like,
said that if you saying who you are, then I'm gonna just respect.
like-
I'm like, well, you ain't lying about it.
Like you feel me? He gonna speak to you. That's as far as he going though. Like you feel me? Oh, grandpa, let me get it. I ain't giving you shit. Like I ain't giving you $5. Give me $5. Like you
Nigga,
feel
my
me?
name
Like,
is Charles. Who's
like-
the grandpa nigga you speak of?
so like he funny as hell. But like that's even you feel me? Disclaimer. You feel me? Me saying that I don't like you feel me? Shout out grandpa. That's my dog. Like you feel me? I don't got nothing against him. You feel me? It's just like that, bro. Like he just know he a piece of shit, bro. And I do not hold nothing against him because he ain't playing about it. He ain't trying to cap about it. He ain't coming around faking a funk.
Yeah,
What's
like-
up, Grant? Nah, you feel me? He gonna give you a hug because he know like he love his you feel me his people. Outside of that, bro, once he get you feel me, once he get past the love and like, yo, what's up with everybody? What y'all want from me? Like, what you want from me? What?
but at the same time too, I'm not saying this right. It's funny, but
Yeah,
I'm not
that's-
saying,
and that's what
but
I'm
I'm
saying,
like, in the era that they're from, that's what they like. Yo, I did what my job was to keep a roof over your head, put clothes, and feed you. After that, once
Yeah.
y'all left, I don't have like that's what.
Fuck 'em.
Yeah, but even saying that too is like a disclaimer to my dad. My grandmother had a lot of kids. You feel me? Had kids young. You feel me? He the oldest, but you know, once you start having more kids, you gotta attend to the youngers. You feel me? Oh, by the time you get like 7, yo, little
Is that the
bro.
oldest?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like you feel me, you know, by the time you get like 7, little bro, you can cook eggs for yourself. I'm over here now, like you feel me. So I don't know what he actually had to go through. I don't know, you feel me, what kind of conversations him and my grandmother may or may not have had still to this day. Like you feel me,
Yeah.
like you know, I don't know. Like I just know where they grew up. You feel me, ain't right. You feel me, and some of them still living there, and it's still the same. So it's like I can understand all of that, bro. Like it's like how we just said earlier. It's just like sometimes I just want to know, like. What was going through your head like for you yourself? Because like I like now I'm past the anger, I'm past all the like you feel me, all the goofy stuff. Like now it's just like a more like you said, more of an understanding. Like yo, like
Yeah, because I'm like I'm an adult and I don't have to lead with my anger. I'm like, yo, I feel like,
Absolutely.
but I know now I'm at the age I am, I can demand the respect though.
for sure.
Like so with certain things, that's why I was like, when me and my pop, we talking outside, like like we talk. Not saying that I knew, but I was like, yo, but when he was telling me certain things and everything, like, but like I said, I already like after the talk, it was already forgiveness. But like I said, the second thing he said to me when he came up and my daughter was here, I said that was where it was really like, and I was just out there at my parents' house, and me and him was chopping up outside and everything, like, cause it's just like, and I told him like, and see, look, the other thing I was going to is where y'all said y'all showing me who not to be. I'm lucky enough that I did still have somebody to give me game that really is like a lot of the, things, the way I move and how I look at things is what I was taught, because I'm one of those, if you give me game and I see, and that is what actually happens, like from what you said, then I'm like, oh no, then I know to listen to, like, they know a little something, like,
Right. Yeah, shout
so
out to the father figures who stepped up and be the man for kids that's not even theirs.
say it
That's
louder,
how they gotta go.
say it louder.
Say I can't say it no louder right now.
Oh man.
My allergy kicking my ass.
He said, shout out to those who stepped up and took the place of those who of the fatherly role.
For sure. So, even for me, like I didn't even get into this yet. Like, I grew up with a stepdad too. So shout out my stepdad. Like he ex-military too. So it's funny some of the like
Didn't know that either.
yeah, some of the similarities. It's just like he was raised crazy too. Like
Yeah.
so
But
like
because he's so laid back,
Yeah.
like he just
so like I gotta give a lot of respect to my stepdad, because like, you know, same thing, like he didn't have to you know, do a lot of the things that he did with us. And I respect him a lot, because when I was, you know, you transitioning from a young man to a man, or like a kid to a young man or whatever like that, I respect him for talking to my mom about some of the things, like, yo, he's starting to grow up, you gotta kind of start loosening the ropes on him, like, and it was a couple things like I had to go to him like, yo, pops, like she on me, like I'm starting to I gotta start making my own decisions. I was turning 14. So like, I was really coming to him like, yo, pops, like I need a little bit of leverage here. Like I can't be coming in at these types of, like I'm starting, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm growing up, like, or like, yo, pops, she can't make all the
especially like 2 years later.
Yeah,
like,
so
like we really was like a
so it's like so like even then I'm like, yo, pops, like she can't keep like making me do this. Like you feel me? I got to be able to have control of that because this is my look. Like now, like she can't make me wear this. This is my look now. I gotta, so like I appreciate him for a lot of the stuff, and because he super love my little sister. Like I'ma always respect him for that. Like even still to this day, like they relationship still like this. Like he's like my little sister still got that baby syndrome to him. Like she see him, bro, he melts. Like anything, if she needed it and he really had it, bro, is here. Like so, like I always got love for him.
When,
like
when you step up. When you step up that road, that's why now we can appreciate what that is. Like, yo, he didn't have to be here though,
Right.
and that's why I said it probably was better because I said that some of the ways like we've become. I was like, that's why I say I appreciate him being there more than not being there because I said a lot of life lessons I did learn. And I got to think of the big moments, like, because that was one of the things he taught me too. So when I think of the moments, I see how Mr. Joe, like I said, they the first, your parents is what helped me not be nervous anymore when the graduation, because they the first people I seen. They called me and flashed the picture. I said, I was like, but it's like those moments. He was there for our graduation. My pops was there for the graduation. I said, my biological father was there. My pops was there. So that's what I look at. All those moments, that's who was there.
Shout out my pops. He did make it, but I always give him slack for it because he left before I threw my cap in the air. So it's like,
yeah, because I'm about to say I ain't see him.
nah, he left. He left before before it all ended. So it's like it be the little things like that. It's like, yo, that's where we be having like a lot of disconnect because it's like, yo, I'm forever grateful that you came, but why did you leave before I threw the hat up? Like that makes me feel like you wasn't there for my moment still. Like you feel me? However, you was there for my moment. So it's half slack and then it's like half respect. It's like, bro, I ain't gonna kill you for it because you actually did make it. But it's like and stuff like that. When I talk to him, tricky. And like when I talk to him, I try to get him to understand those type of things. Like, yo, I'm not mad at you completely. It's just like, what made you think to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would you leave before I thought it could, like, you know what I'm saying?
What's so important is
the
that
only reason why you could. It's because your grandmom got up and she was there that whole time.
Nah, for sure. Like,
because I remember around that time, it wasn't even sure, and that was beating you up, like, because you didn't think she was going to make it, and and it was understandable.
For sure.
So when I saw her there too, it was like I'm like, and then, that's where we took the pic because your uncle got the good camera and all. So that's what we was taking the good
camera.
And
that was so good.
Another thing too, shout out to my Uncle Dave. He was like. Shout out to my Uncle Dave and my Uncle Simmons. I call him by his last name, but Mr. J, we call him. Shout out to them. Those are the most two influential men in my whole life. My uncle, like, he taught me that when they come to basketball and, like, people seeing, like, how nice I got, I owe him my life when it come to that. Like, I owe him like, learning about the birds and the bees, how to put a condom on, all of that type of stuff. Like, not literally, but like, but like, but like him just like running me through things like, yo, like when you do this, yo, make sure you know what I'm saying, whatever. And then Mr. J, I always just say he like, when you say like the word man, he should be next to the fucking word. Like he's the epitome of a man to me. Like
even some of the little things that he taught us that I was like, when he was asking certain questions, now I'm sitting back thinking about it. I see what he was like, why I was like, because I would have said the same thing. Now at this age, I'm like, I see why he was questioning that so hard, because it's like but we like, when you're so young and naive, you don't understand. And but shout out to the fathers that did step up
for sure
and those took on those fatherly roles, because we still need it, especially us as black men. Like that's something we definitely need to prevent us give a better percentage of not getting in trouble. That's why I say, like, why I wasn't really in trouble, because I was like, yo, I had accountability. I said when I got home, I knew I was like
Right.
Your pops is there. Your pops is there to get on you. So
I mean, I don't care how good you can get it. You need both parents. Now, you can
absolutely,
suffice.
but this the
You can
father.
suffice with just one if you got to. Life presented that way, but having both parents allows you to have some balance in your life. Somebody to always talk to. Hopefully, that they both not always ganging up on you, but you got somebody you can confide in. Now, I'm not saying everybody both parents situation was great, but just having the ability to just the possibility of it. Every situation got to be great, but that's the best possibility for black children is to have a black family. So I think it matters a lot, man. I think we got to give just praise to those who do. I applaud ourselves for making sure we stay in our kids' lives and be the parents we are just wanting to be for ourselves and
For
be
sure.
better and make sure we develop them in the way that they need to be in the dream that they got for themselves, not the one we got for them.
And flowers to y'all too, specifically from my views, like changing the narratives, for y'all families and y'all legacy. Like, y'all last name is gonna carry forever. You feel me? As long as, everything keep going like the way it's going or whatever. So just shout out to y'all for just understanding, like, yo, this is going to stop with me by all means. Like, I'm not gonna let this continue, or my kids is gonna feel anything of how I felt, or go through half of what I went through. So like, shout out to y'all for that, cause for one, it's tough, and for two, that's a big ask, and it's a big load to take
Yeah.
on. Like, yo, you the first of your family, period, that's gonna stop. These people from generation, like for you, that I know, like generations to generations, people don't talk. Like certain people won't talk to each other or haven't talked. Like, because we was having that convo recently.
Not to cut you off, because just real quick. I definitely said that. Definitely said that the other day. I said I want my household to be. I was like, I want to give you your leeway. I want you to have your space, like, but I said I just don't want all these damn secrets. I said I don't want to find out all this stuff later and everything that you were going through something, and then it's like because I know some people when you're young and naive, you associate that nobody was there for me, and I'm like, no, like I want you to talk. I want to make it a comfortable space where you can feel like you can come to me because that's what I'm here for.
Right.
And I'm making sure that's one thing I am being very, very serious about is that I am there, I am present, not just physically there, that I am literally like, hey, how are you feeling? Hey, how are you doing? I do that now. Everything I do. And I just had this conversation with someone else too when this is a whole different subject, but when she said, why do men cheat? And the funny thing is I was like, after being out of the game so many years, I said, I don't even know why anymore. Like, but I said, but the person I'm very particular of what my daughter sees from me. So it's certain things that I want her to know, and y'all know that I'm like, yo, I say I'm trying to save her innocence as long as I can. I was like, I know the world is gonna show and she's gonna have to deal with things in the world, but I rather feel like I can prepare her just a little bit for it and let her know what's coming, because I was able to have that with my older siblings and my pops and my mom and all that, like, and big homie, shout out G, and where it's where I can get that game where they're literally like, no, because this is what happens. I've seen it all these ways. That's why a lot of stuff I take, like why I said I chose to be married before I had a child, because all the issues I've seen other people go through with baby moms and baby dads, all that. So it's like that. So.
And, another shout out to my Uncle Peanut too. Like, that's fresh in them dad. Like we don't have like a super close relationship enough, and it's like nothing bad or anything. But from my viewpoints and like, everybody, all kids is going to be how they are. Like they're going to grow up how they are. But for the most part, amazing father, bro. Like amazing father, bro. Like, kids going to have their secrets. They, like you said, they're going to do what they do, you feel me, because we get older and do stuff like that. But I'm talking about like, because Fresh just recently got married. So, I seen the pictures of them or whatever like that. And I'm just like, yo, for literally as long as I can remember, he always been a present father, like with all of his kids. Like not, oh, I'm going to take more load from them. I'm talking about equally, be just as hard, love just as much, all of that. Bro, shout out to my Uncle Peanut,
as long as I knew
bro.
them, there's always 2-parent household.
Absolutely. And so like they're one of the few, no matter, you feel me, outside chatters or whatever like that, they're the people that I always look to in the back of my mind, like, yo, I want my family to be like that, like just together under one household. Everybody's gonna fight, fuss, but when they all get around each other and stuff goes, I'm like, yo, that's a family. Like,
And that's what I always say. I was like, I know my kids are gonna make their own decisions, do what they do. They're gonna make mistakes. I'm just like that's why I was like, I just want to be able to make sure that I'm present enough that we are comfortable being able to talk about it, and that I'm not gonna. Because one of the things I do, even with the little homies and stuff too, I was like, bro, I am that age. I was that age, so I know when you're feeling like this, when that time comes and you feel like this. Even with my nephews, how like I play, like the role I play is an uncle, because I take those type of roles serious, like with them other generations, with all our kids and everything. I say, like, where some people, some people don't want the role model tag and all that stuff, but I was like, yo, but this is who I am. When I'm being serious about what I want the next generation to see, I'm that's who I am. Like, so it's not me faking or feeling like I gotta portray something. It's like, no, I'm like, no, you don't have to do it this way. You don't have to be like that. You can do it like this, and you're gonna be good. Like I said, I was like, bro, since my baby can understand words, I've been sitting her in the mirror saying, look how beautiful you are. I still do it to the point now she does it. She looks in the mirror. I'm so pretty. I'm like, absolutely you are. I said because of I seen too many times of when the father isn't there, and it's like, of course, it takes both parents, but when the father's not there to give that, like, that covering, like that real covering that you need, because that's what I say. Like my household is pretty much like, like what typical society would look like in some ways. Like I I provide the house, you make it a home, and we take care of our kids together and everything like that. And I'm fine with that because, but and two, our women, and I'm gonna just say our women, as far as because we're talking about fatherhood and men, and we're all men in here. Uh, because I definitely had this conversation a while ago. I don't know, Jay, if you ever dealt with this too. And this is some real stuff for y'all to understand, because sometimes it was you make such, because you can definitely be a pretty, not a okay partner, but an amazing parent, like, and vice versa. It could be like that. And sometimes, like, and how I had to say, one of the times was, the reason why I excel so much as a parent is because I was able to spend my whole life knowing what I wanted in a father. I didn't know what I wanted in a partner, but I knew what I wanted in a father. All my life, I was able to go through that. So by the time I became a father, I was able to be like, I was able to excel. I'm able to excel in it because I was like, everything that I wanted and knew and needed, I was like, I'm being and trying and continuing to be that person now. So don't give your partner so much slack on it sometimes if they're excelling in parenting, but not so much as a partner, because sometimes with us and our background, it's literally because we were able to spend our entire lives learning and figuring out what we wanted and needed in a parent, and not so much as a partner.
Message.
Message.
But I was gonna ask, like, so, like, for y'all, like, personally, like, y'all not having y'all dad, like, how does it make you want to be like the best father? Like what type of job do it give y'all, like, knowing, like, yo, like how I said, y'all gonna stop this shit here, like, we
Making
ain't
sure
going
my
for no
ass is
more,
there,
like,
making sure I make it home every
Yeah.
day.
Like it's to the point to where once my kid was here, the preparing, I'm here now. I'm this person. Like who I am. I don't have to try. The dad I am is just me as a parent that I prepared myself to be through learning and teachings that I taught myself on how I wanted this to go, and how and the flaws I saw with society and the flaws I saw with men in my own life, and then the good things you see in society and the good things with men in your own life. It's a cocktail you get to make your own in a situation. Whereas some people who got their dad in life, they're able to just learn that from one person. So they're able to take what they need, give what they need, and also gain advice in those crucial moments. But without that, now for me, it's knowing those crucial moments are also being there for the little moments. Every moment counts.
Yep.
So I try and get as many as I can, and that's kind of how it just prepares me. Any moment you can get matters, and so I try and get every one.
And that's why I say like the self-esteem thing. It's because that's the issues I've had growing up. So it was like so I know that plays a big part. Like I was like, yo, you can. That's why like even the way like how Kanye's mom was with him. I was like, you can't
Beautiful,
be.
bro.
I said, I was like, you gotta
Beautiful,
love it
bro.
because he like, and look where it's taking him. Like, and that's probably why without her, that's why he started doing some of the stuff because it's like, yo, this is the person that raised me, believed in me, told me I could do anything, and I accomplished it. So it's like, but yeah, like how Jay said, it's just making sure you're there for the little stuff. Be present, not just physically. Make sure you're there. You're paying attention to them. You're cultivating their skills. You're listening, everything like that. And I mean, with kids, and they like you got to deal with your feelings. But I have a daughter, so it's like I really have to make sure, like, be careful.
Like the tone,
Yeah, and everything like that because their feelings come into play like a lot more. I always say,
I don't know, man. It can go either way. I think kids in general.
No. I'm saying no.
Yeah.
That's why I said kids, but like as they get older, like I got nephews, so I was able to see like sometimes it is just a little brush it off, you good, like and they good, but. With like that's why I say even when I say like yo sometimes when they both calling my name and they need me for something because I know either one of them is going to ask me to do something and I said I have to think correctly how I which way I turn whose attention because I said somebody's going to be bothered like so it's like one of them things I just be like hey one at a time but but when you're in it bro and you really care for it it's a beautiful thing and that's why I always reiterate having a family is priceless. Like when you really care about it and y'all really doing your thing, y'all all under one roof and it's just love. And I say, and I know that's one of the things I can speak for all three of us that we all really yearn for in life is just to have that. But of course, it makes it even better when it's like the family you created. Like this little person looks like me. And it's like, but they're getting raised by me as well, and their mother, like speaking for me and Jay, their mother. You look like this person, and you're getting raised by this but we're all under one roof, so you feel so much more safety and comfortability, and like you're doing something right. That's probably the best thing. Would you agree, Jay? Like it makes you feel like you're doing something right.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely know I'm doing something right. It just comes from just the work you put in. The kid, as your kid develops and seeing it day by day by day, you can directly see the impact you have and the positive and the negative in a good way to always figure out how to course correct. Like a lot of life is devoted to him now. And how making sure I cultivate what the world is for him because my world is kind of I decided to embark on this journey. So my world is now your world. Like I have to your outlook is what I strive to create.
Absolutely.
So it ain't really all about me no more, and everything I do is for him. So that's how I just for him, for my family, for us to just be able to have the life we want to live.
And that's like why I say like with the children's books and everything, I allow her to lead me because it's everything that she's thinking and that I want her to know, but I want her to know early. And everything. That's why I was like, I'm not saying people don't do it, but I never seen that where it's like the where you put your child in the mirror and telling them like this about yourself, so you will always remember that. Because I know that when I remember you've kind of felt like you kind of felt that girl's pain when you saw the little girl the thing that went viral when she was like I'm ugly and the mom was like why would you say that you're not like
Yo,
and it's things like that, like because when you see videos like that too now as a parent, and then me having a little girl, but I hate when kids have to feel like that. That shit always. I don't think I really watched that video fully because the self-esteem issues I dealt with. So when I see other kids deal with it, it breaks me. It breaks me, and I was like, because I'm like, yo, like. I don't want them even I don't know this kid from a can of paint, but I do not want them to feel that thing that I felt. And that's why like with the books and things that I do, I was like, why they're their affirmation books, their self-help, their self-esteem, because it's like, yo, if I can just get you to know that you can do anything, if you believe in it and just shut everything else out the best way you can, you'll be fine out here. You will be fine. That's why I was like, yo, I do that with my daughter just so, like, not simply just that reason, but I was like, so you don't fall and just be all over the place for the first boy that tells you you're cute. Like, I've been hearing that all my life. Like, you got to come a little different, little bruh. Like, but then, but
That is facts. I mean, for me, it's just caring for my child mentally, spiritually, and physically. Like those things coming apart, and just break. I try and deconstruct because I don't. I try and deconstruct the kind of the world view on fatherhood. Like I don't have to be stirring the heart of my son because he's a boy and the world's gonna be hard.
yeah.
Yo, he gonna learn like that. That's lessons we gonna learn to do together and navigate. I don't have to be extra. You have to. I hate that. Like we gotta prepare you for this.
Like boys don't cry type of love.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's real black boy over here. I want to see my kid smile and happy. I don't want to have to beat him down. When I already know the world beats us down. Like I didn't have dad beat me down. I still got beat the fuck down.
Yeah, like yeah.
Like this.
Right, that's like the worst. Like for a kid to get beat up in the world and then come through the door and get beat up some more, bro.
Which is why I was like, I know the world is gonna do that enough, so it's my job to make sure that I prepare you enough for it and not do that to you. That's why, like I say, bro, that stuff always. I didn't. Thankfully, I did not have to go through any physical abuse or anything like that, like no, in no type of shape, way, or form. Like, no, I got beatings, but I'm not calling that abuse. Like, I mean, it depends on who you are. I'm not.
Nah, it's border. I'm about to say we'll save that for a different pod.
Yeah,
but
I was like, I wasn't getting beat with. I wasn't. Take this part off, and then like I hit you with this metal pole. I was like, just a belt. Like,
I'm about to say just
like attempted murder,
but
abuse in a way.
for sure.
But
I'm about to say
it's a method we use to skip steps. That's all.
I think it's all a matter of how.
I'm saying
how you deal with it
I feel
mentally.
you because it's like, bro, I definitely get what you're saying, bro. But for me, we're gonna save it for a different. When you think about it and you get deep into it, cause trust me, bro, it'll really change your look on it. Like, damn, bro, like, like I say this, like, imagine you like you getting beat for being a kid.
No, I don't agree with, but it's certain things. That's why I was like, no, I'm not gonna say I was abused.
Things that deserve somebody to put their hands on you. I don't think it's no thing.
I'm not saying it's necessarily deserved, but
if you in a sparring, if you in a field that where you gotta get physical, but other than that, it's learning. It's sparring, like basically pretty much learn how to handle yourself in the world. But other than that, I don't think anybody has the right to really put their hands on you in a way because you kind of give your child that way that some authoritarian figure can put their hands on you. One, to me. Two, I just don't think somebody I teach every step of the way has to be corrected for what I taught.
I don't think it's
I won't
necessary.
go. I won't
say
say
it's
that much,
how that
but I
person takes
definitely-
it. I was like, because that I didn't ever think that. Oh, just because my pop may have did it, that the world is going like somebody just going, an adult, like the teacher going, oh, you know what, come here, like no,
Nah,
I
but
never.
However, I'm about to say, however, it happened for generations. Even when I was a kid growing up, like I seen a
Girls
kid.
like men who beat women who because they dad beat them, even if it wasn't.
I mean, I know that that's why I said it's all how I heard somebody say they felt like they were being abused because at the same time, while they used to get beat, they were learning in school slavery. You get whipped and everything like that. So I'm like, I'm not going to discredit how you feel. That's what I said. It's all depends on who the one that got whooped.
Listen, I'm about to say, but we're gonna save that. We veering off a little.
But I'm like,
child abuse.
We veering off a little. Let's bring it really back, bro.
nah, bro. It's just, hey, yo.
Not meant to get here, but somehow.
But I literally said, but this is me. This is because of this guy again. Like, where I was like, yo, I'm literally saying, I didn't take it as abuse or nothing. Like, I was like,
and the court of the law, that is abuse.
I mean, like, court of law in 2023 or
All of it, every time.
In 2023, you definitely going to jail.
yeah, that's why I'm like, that's what I said in 2023 or
doesn't catch you
or the times it was happening to me.
Your kids just was like, oh, taboo, like nigga, you can't go.
Nah, it was. I'm about to say back in them days. I'm like,
because it was a sense of community, and some people felt like that was a right.
oh, you
of a
being bad?
village.
Take the scalded hot water.
Now that's different, like
Nah, I'm
no
just saying.
stuff like that. But like you said, we can save that for because we can go. Like,
Yeah.
But I'm like, but see, now I lost my damn point. Like,
And this has been king.
but nah, but nah, it's man.
Nah, I just ask y'all one last joint before we wrap it up and stuff. Like what's like y'all like what y'all think like y'all personal challenges every day? Just like
But yeah,
What?
questions before we go.
because I was about to say I just ain't wanted to drag because we kind of got there real.
Oh,
there real quick.
so what question are we answering?
Nah, I'm about to say I just asked like what are y'all like y'all own like personal challenges like daily, just like how y'all as far as like how you feel like just being a father and stuff like that, like just knowing like yo I'm waking up today, I gotta make it happen or else type stuff like what like just like you know how y'all feel like about that, like just every day waking up like knowing like I got somebody to tend for, I got them to look like they got to look up to me. I got to make sure I'm doing this the correct way or is correct to my ability. Like just like how like what is like I don't want to call it pressure because I know that y'all don't take it as pressure. It's like bro, I'm just stepping into who I'm like just stuff that I'm naturally going to do for sure. But like
like for me, like I said, the challenge is living in the moment. Like you focus so much on a goal and where you want to be at the end that you can not be present for the precious moments and the little things they need. Every day I got to make sure I stay in the moment, even though I have a long-term goal. There are things I got to do, things I want to do, but when I'm with my kid, he's the most important thing. So it's making sure whenever he wants eye contact, being there, looking at him, like not being distracted. It's making sure that you can never be the way you used to be. You have to really care and develop another human being every day of your life. So, I mean, it's not really, I wouldn't call it just as a challenge, but it's just a reminder to make sure you stay and enjoy the journey, not focus on what the end. Because so many parents want to prepare you for some shit that they're not being, they're not understanding your life that day. But yeah,
that was a great answer.
I think I would agree. I think I would definitely
that was
agree.
a great answer. I felt like I was really with you there.
If I can answer, I would probably say it's the same thing. It's just we're so, especially us as the fathers and all that, like, because by nature we naturally are like provide, like we're looking to provide. So like Jay said, you think about just you want to make sure you're paying attention. That's why I say I try not to. I say like if she wants to play and all that, I try not to be looking at my phone and everything like that. That's the reason why like I let her lead me creatively, because that's what made it easier, like to be like, okay, I can be part of it, but while still doing something to keep the grind going. It's like, okay, I can. This is what I'm gonna do to cultivate this and that skill. But this is how I'm gonna pay attention and see what she likes and all that. And I seen how like even with your son when he seen some of the stuff. One of the things I'm working on when he saw it, his reaction to it, I said, cool. Now it lets me know I went in the right direction because of their reaction and everything. And I know what they're like and what they're into. So I know what immediately will catch their eye, which is really what it has to be. But I would 100% agree with Jay. I think that's the biggest thing. And even in a relationship, it's like you like that. That's the reason why I tell young men, get to where you're going in life first before you start a family. So that way, like me and Jay are not saying we regret it at all, but if we would have had that set path and knew where we wanted to be and like really went full force and got there, and sometimes I do blame it on the lack of guidance. So that's why I tell him like, yo, wait to start a family. So that way, when you are there, you're not thinking so much of the grind anymore. So you can really be happy. And I'm not saying I'm not happy, but I'm saying like you can really be happy and knowing that you're providing for your family and you can take care of them and y'all can go on these trips and all that, and not thinking about like, yo, I'm trying to get this new career going and everything like that. That's why I'm so proud of my little brother for what he did. And I told him that, I said, yo, don't start a family yet. Just get to where you're going first, so that when you do start a family, you're going to be great, and you're not going to have to deal with anything that maybe me or him had to deal with in the between and the figuring out. Like me and Jay still had to go through a lot of the figuring out, and still have to. So like, and that's on the way you provide, who you are as a person, how you react to things, everything. Like we had to be in the middle of it while learning how to be a partner and a parent. And I'm just telling the young men, like, yo, get to where you're going first, so that way you don't really have to think about that so heavily. But anything else? I know.
And also, young men, if you get a good one, hold it down, man. If you get somebody that develop and help you get to your dreams and is willing to pour into you and you pour into her, yo, that's a good look. Now, yeah, like you said, you don't gotta start no family quick, but if you can get a good chick and maybe start your beginning of your family, because a lot of that chase that we feel as men to be with women that came from other generations of just how you're supposed to be as a human being, and when you can seriously, you don't have to do that to have a fulfilling life. Like that phase that we kind of label the whole phase is something that you really don't got to do. Like you can keep it trill, keep it drill, and if you have somebody you really want to be with, then hold it down. Like don't go out here chasing that, because the grass ain't always greener.
Absolutely.
Like that should have had you fucked up.
Nah, that's real. And that's going to be the topic for next week. Thank you for tuning back in to the King Status Podcast with me, Mr. Morley King, along with
Jay Duce, nah, EdBuck LC.
If I do say so myself. Thank y'all for tuning in. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and follow us. All the descriptions will be in the description. All the links will be in the description below. And we thank y'all for tuning in. And remember, no one can fit the crown that is meant for you.
Yeah.